Hey, it's me, Tyler. Bose open earbuds are stylish. The color, the way it looks almost like an earring, so I feel like it could go with anything. My style is very fun. I feel like I always look like I'm on holiday. I just really like playing around with it and tying it to the music. So yeah, I really feel like the music I'm making right now feels like a holiday, so I want to look like it too. Check out Bose.com for more.
The Sephora Savings Event is coming. Are you ready to get
this and that? I don't gotta choose.
You're right. You don't. Shop all your favorite makeup, skincare, hair care, and fragrances for less. Find brands like Rare Beauty, Glow Recipe, Valentino, K18, and everything else you want on sale starting November 1st. The Sephora Savings Event is almost here. Shop the sale at Sephora and Sephora at Kohl's. Limitations apply. Must be a beauty insider. See terms at Sephora.com for complete details.
Now, back to the Larry Kudlow Show.
One of the other key points of this election, and showing how popular Donald Trump is with better than 50% favorables for the first time in his career, he has shattered the Democratic coalition. Mr. Trump's getting huge votes among unions, blacks, young, Hispanics. Very interesting. And Kamala Harris run for the hills on this stuff. Let's talk to great friend Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican of North Dakota. Senator Cramer, it is interesting. I know I say this 1,000 times. Polls are not votes. But when you look at the breakdown, the demographic, not just the issues breakdown, but the demographic breakdown of Hispanics and blacks and younger people and working folks people and union people. I mean, I heard the UAW guy was on Fox, and he was saying Trump's going to carry 2/3 of the UAW. And the Teamsters are saying they're going to carry 2/3 of the Teamsters. This is a different ball game, isn't it?
Oh, is it ever, Larry? I mean, who knew that a billionaire from New York would, bring the working class Americans back to the Republican Party?
Yeah.
But when you look at the positions, and this is what I love about this illustration is policies matter. Your positions on things matter. And by the way, your track record matters. Donald Trump did more for the middle class of this country in his 4 years as president, largely through Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, thanks to you and several others that worked with him on it, and restored working Americans, in a way that they hadn't seen in a very long time. And I think a lot of people long for that back. But then now you have this great contrast with Kamala Harris, who seems to not even understand working class Americans. And so, it's a very unusual shift that's taking place. It also, I think, illustrates back to the policy issue that good ideas do attract voters. They really do. Whether it's a pro-growth economic policy translated into a pro-jobs economic policy, or just common sense, as you often refer to. I think that's what's capturing the imagination of the American public, and why Donald Trump is. I remember when he won the first time in 2016. I was a member of the House of Representatives, and there were a bunch of people wringing their hands, leading up to the election day in the House, going, "Oh my gosh, are we going to be able to hang on to our majority?" And the day after the election, the Republican leadership in the House were saying, "Hey, we caught a wave." Yeah, the wave was Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump, and I think that's what you see happening again.
I want to talk about, because the original Senate in 2017 really didn't like Trump at all. But I just want to continue this. So you're out there, you're in North Dakota. I'm just going to call it the Dakotas in the West. Unions working. What is that? What do they talk about? Is it's prices, falling real wages? Is it the border? What's the absolute key things you hear when you travel around?
That is such a great point, because just yesterday I was out at a power plant, a power plant in central North Dakota, western North Dakota, that burns lignite coal coming from the ground of North Dakota. Just a bunch of plant workers. And, they didn't talk a lot about, specific highfalutin policies, but they did talk about things like inflation and how it affects them. They did, of course, talk about energy policy and how that really affects them, their jobs, their livelihoods, their communities. I would tell you, though, that this southern border issue that is haunting Democrats, something terrible, affects people in every part of America, including North Dakota. When there are 200 fentanyl deaths a day in America as a result of a wide open southern border, every state's a border state. Now, North Dakota is a northern border state, and we're a little tired of our Customs and Border Patrol officers having to go to the south to deal with the southern border crisis. But even beyond that, just the lack of common sense, just the stupidity of the open border policy, the simplicity that they all know that Donald Trump applied to fixing it with remain in Mexico, with building a wall, with doing away with the catch and release. This affects every American, and we watch cable news just like they do everywhere else in the country, and it's a head scratcher. So to everyday common sense, middle class, middle America workers, they're talking about the same things that they're talking about in New York, and that is keeping America safe and secure at the southern border and bringing the prices of things down, or else bringing their wages to a higher level. But inflation has had a major impact on every American, including every North Dakotan.
And Trump is cool. Like people in North Dakota. Cool. So I did this little radio station with you. It was my great pleasure. They're all talking about flipping French fries at McDonald's. So that was in Philadelphia. Exactly. But the radio station was somewhere in the middle of North Dakota. No, but I mean, you're right. Look, this is a national race. Everybody knows everything.
It is.
Trump's the cool guy. His favorabilities are 50 plus, Senator Kevin Cramer. When he ran and won in 2016, his favorables in the Gallup poll was 36. He's now at 52. What's that tell you? Well, it's cool to be for Trump.
There's no question about it, Larry. Or rad, or whatever they say. It's very cool because he's authentic, Larry.
Yes.
And
yes.
By the way, I mean, here he just did the Joe Rogan podcast, something I'd never even heard of before this election. He does this very popular Joe Rogan podcast because he can talk about anything, or at least he's willing to talk about anything, and he talks about it in such an authentic way. And while it's offensive to some people and certain words bother other people, and some people cringe, at a certain line or name calling, and we all like him to be more like us, right? But at the end of the day, it's authenticity that attracts people, and it is, and he is up to speed on contemporary culture, and that's something that I'm not so good at, but I'm starting to understand it better.
Well, he told Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, at the Al Smith dinner in New York, big Catholic charity dinner, he said, not to worry, you're a woke party. Even if you lose, there's still time for you to be the first woman president. And Schumer, the whole place erupted when he said that. Not Schumer. Schumer, they kind of scowled a little bit. But it was such a great zinger. You can be, Senator Schumer, you can still be the first woman president. I mean, just think about it. Trump just said that. I don't know. One thing I want to get to you, it is utterly despicable, of course. We expect this, but it is still despicable that Democrats and candidates, and Kamala is going to say this, that Trump is Hitler and Trump is the Fuhrer and Trump is a fascist. It's horrible. But I have a spin on it, last minute here. Democrats for Hitler. You got half a dozen Senate candidates running ads with Donald Trump in those ads. They're positive ads. So they may call him Hitler, but they're running with Trump. They're trying to persuade people. I mean, that's a different ballgame. That's a completely different ballgame.
It's an irony that's not lost on a single voter,
right,
Larry. And that level of hypocrisy is rich. But what's really rich is that they're literally now running against their nominee.
That's right.
And I'm sure they're all scratching their heads going, how did we let this happen?
They're doing. You're 100%. They are running against their own nominee. Senator Kevin Cramer, North Dakota, the best of the best, a great friend. Folks, we're going to take a break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to come back and do some stock market work. I'm Kudlow. Please, stay with us.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.